He lost everything and found something greater in the ruins. At first it was just silence, the kind that fills the space where laughter used to be, the kind that lingers after goodbyes that came too soon. He didn't even realize how much he had until it was all gone, ripped away in waves he didn't see coming or maybe refused to see. They say loss has stages, that healing comes in time, but no one talks about the space between, the void where nothing makes sense, and the world keeps spinning like your entire life isn't in pieces. That's where he lived for a long time, in that space, between what was and what might never be again. He lost people, places, purpose, identity. The man who once woke up with plans and dreams and certainty, now struggled just to get out of bed. He moved like a ghost through the wreckage of his own life, haunted not by memories, but by the silence where those memories used to echo. But it was in that silence, raw and brutal, that something else began to stir. At first it was just a thought, a whisper, a flicker of something ancient and patient, a realization that maybe losing everything was not the end, but the clearing, the leveling of a land that had been built on shaky foundations. When the walls came down, he could see clearly. He saw who stayed, who vanished, who loved him only when he was strong, and more importantly, he saw himself, without the layers, the masks, the illusions, just a man, bare, bruised, still breathing. He realized then that everything he lost had made space for truth. He no longer measured his worth by the roles he played, no longer chased approval like a thirsty man chasing a mirage. The pain had burned away the surface, and in the ashes he found his core. Not polished, not perfect, but real. He started rebuilding, not the life he had, but the life he needed, one that wasn't built on performance but presence, one where solitude wasn't punishment but sanctuary, one where he didn't need to prove anything to be worthy of peace. The ruins became his foundation. Brick by broken brick, he learned to love slower, speak softer, and walk lighter. He stopped apologizing for being someone who feels deeply. He stopped shrinking to fit into spaces never meant for him. He began to trust the fall. Because sometimes you don't rise until you've been shattered. Sometimes, only through complete collapse do you realize what's truly indestructible. He found strength, not the kind that roars, but the kind that whispers, "Try again," on days when your soul wants to give up. He found clarity, not in certainty, but in acceptance. He found beauty, not in perfection, but in the cracks that told the story of his becoming. And eventually, he found peace. Not the kind you seek in people or places or praise, but the kind you find when you finally sit still long enough to hear your own heartbeat and realize it's enough. People looked at him differently now. Some called it growth, others called it change, but he knew what it was: resurrection. Not from death, but from disillusionment, from chasing shadows, from building homes in people who were never meant to stay. He smiles now, not because life is easier, but because he no longer fears the hard parts. He knows storms pass, that nothing lasts forever, not pain, not joy, not loss. And that's the beauty of it. That's where the power is. He lost everything once, and it nearly destroyed him. But in the ruins, he found something greater. He found himself.